Hi guys, Al here with Hell's Paradise episode 12 review. At first we see Mudan greet Sajiri and the others. Yuzuriha tries to escape but gets caught by Mudan. Hoko tells Sajiri that Mudan is a Tenzin. Mudan says that the beheading will accelerate Hoko's tree transformation and tells Hoko that the religious beliefs are fake and they were made up by his master to maintain order on the island and that this place is created for conducting experiments. So yeah, there we have it, the moment of truth that was far too obvious, and I honestly didn't like it because it was in front of our faces from the get-go, but maybe it's just me who didn't like it. Next we see Mudan telling them that the Tenzin conducts experiments on humans that come to the island. He orders some of his experiments to hold onto Yuzuriha. He tells the others that they turn high-quality humans into tan and the low-quality ones into all sorts of creatures. Mudan says that there is no elixir of life. He says tan is only for the Tenzin, and if normal people drink tan then they become trees like Hoko. Yuzuriha uses a substitution technique and cuts off Mudan's head. I think if someone drinks tan without a certain experiment done on them then they become a tree or something along the lines. Also I think the Tenzin were once humans. Then we see Yuzuriha telling Sajiri and Senta to escape, but Mudan regenerates and sends the Kyoshi to Yuzuriha. Yuzuriha dodges and Mudan realizes that Yuzuriha understands Tao. We learn that in Yuzuriha's village Tao is called Chi. Senta says he must fight Mudan first. Sajiri wonders if Senta has grown special feelings for Yuzuriha. Mudan uses a technique to throw Sajiri away. Senta cuts Mudan's hands and legs. Yuzuriha drinks some sort of a potion and uses her slime string technique. The potion she drank was a deadly snake poison. It starts melting Mudan, but then he regenerates. Yuzuriha knowing about Tao was a bit unexpected. Her slime powers are interesting and they make her look a bit more erotic. Moving on, we see Senta and Yuzuriha trying to hurt Mudan but failing. Mudan says they can't defeat him without mastering Tao. Sajiri begs Hoko to tell her a weak point of Mudan. Sajiri attacks Mudan's navel area. Hoko says that is the area Tao generates from, so attacking that area might hurt Mudan. Mudan says that won't work without a certain amount of Tao. This part made me wonder what's the relationship between Mei and Hoko, because he is going as far as betraying the Tenzin just for Mei. We see Sajiri breathe for a bit and then attack Mudan. It hurts him and Mudan wonders if Sajiri can use Tao or not. Yuzuriha and Senta see that Mudan is unable to regenerate from the attack. Sajiri says that she sensed a strange aura around Mudan, and if that is Tao then she can cut it because Gabimaru and Rokuroda emitted the same auras. Yuzuriha realizes Sajiri can temporarily increase her Tao with her breathing techniques. Mudan becomes interested in Sajiri and wants to turn her into tan no matter what. They all fight an intense fight and Mudan goes into his female form and manipulates his Tao so he can be airborne. He shoots a bunch of shockwaves and hurts Senta. The first thing that came to my mind seeing Sajiri's breathing technique was the Demon Slayer anime, and the last episode already hinted that Sajiri probably knows how to use Tao without realizing it. Then we see Sajiri realizing that her breathing techniques are very tasking to her body. Yuzuriha tells Sajiri not to give up since her Tao might be effective against Mudan's Tao. Yuzuriha drags Mudan down with her slime string while tanking his attacks. Senta uses this chance to hold off Mudan. Sajiri attacks Mudan's navel area and cuts him into half. Sajiri goes over to Hoko and sees he is still fine. They rest for a while to think everything over. This part was nicely animated and I liked how they all worked together as a team to fight against Mudan instead of a one-man show. Next we see Sajiri asking Senta whether he likes Yuzuriha. Senta says he envies how free Yuzuriha is. We get a flashback of Senta's life and how he wanted to become an artist. We see that his family forced him to learn the Amada ways. We learn that he didn't like killing people and so he studied religions to keep himself distracted. This made him a good student and his rank kept rising higher. Senta says he started liking Yuzuriha's cruel behavior and ability to see through things. So he is simply jealous of her free will and admires Yuzuriha. Sajiri says she can relate with him a little and says they should protect everyone from the Tensen. Senta's story was quite realistic and many parents do these kind of things to their children even nowadays. This is just straight up a brutal thing to do to your kid, and I will never understand the logic behind these mindsets. At the end we see Gabamara thinking about Tao. He asks Mei if there is anything he can help her with. He then suddenly faints, shocking the others. Elsewhere we see Yuzuriha asking Senta and Sajiri about some flowers. The flower suddenly attacks Yuzuriha, but Senta takes the attack for her and turns into a flower. We find out Mudan did that with his true form. He tries to kill Sajiri and Yuzuriha, but Cheyenne comes out of nowhere and saves them. I think Cheyenne and the others will kill Mudan. Also, I think Gabamara fainted because he used too much Tao without fully mastering it. Overall, it was a decent episode. I didn't like certain things, but maybe that is just due to my preference, so I won't be nitpicking over them. Anyways, thanks for watching everyone. If you like my video and want to see me make more, then hit the like button and subscribe. If you want to say something, then leave a comment. You can also follow me on Twitter or check out my Facebook page. Links are given in the description. Until then, see ya.